Why knowledge matters. It's brilliant because you describe all these different steps for precisely what you just said, and what it just does, with predicting and so on, is this active meaning making, right? To trying to connect the dots, whether it's right or not, but it just subconsciously, also consciously, it prepares you for the content, right? If it's just like a question, as you just said, or just a topic, right? So it really helps people actually, make meaning. So it's so powerful.
Well, agreed. And so the book is organized around very specific teaching techniques with associated tools to help the teacher be more of a sage on this, a guide on the side, sorry, and facilitate student meaning making. And also, the tools can be used by the students to help them think and make meaning. Permit me to give you a very specific example. We have a set of what we call 7 categories of ways of thinking with associated tools in the book. And it's our contention that meaning making involves activating student knowledge and experience while confronting new ideas or new information, and we make meaning through active thinking processes. And so these skills and processes are the vehicle for meaning making, and the tools support them. So here's a quick example verbally. Argumentation, the ability to construct, support, as well as argument and rebut opposing positions, is to me an important skill set to be developed in schools. And interestingly, that outcome, argumentation, is found, at least in the US, in English language arts, mathematics, science, and social studies standards. So, arguably, that's a big one. And it works in life. So, to help kids develop and deepen their understanding of what argumentation is, one of our tools in the book is a quote argumentation table. It's a graphic organizer. So, a picture a box that's like a tabletop, 4 legs, and little claw feet at the end of the legs. And the organizer is meant to visibly show students the elements of an argument. So the elements of an argument, you need to have a claim or a position that's clearly stated. You need to support your claim with reasons, and you need to base your reasons on sound and appropriate evidence. So the table presents a graphic representation. The tabletop is your claim. The legs are the reasons that support your claim, and they are grounded. The feet of the table are evidence. And the image is straightforward. If you don't have good reasons or evidence, you can't support your tabletop. Now, that takes an abstract idea of argumentation and puts it into a tangible form. Then you then present students. Maybe you give them an argument and reasons and evidence that someone else has put forth. Put those in the table and see if they hold up. So you can analyze an argument, which is part of the standard. Then, when students are creating their arguments for something, they use the graphic as a brainstorming tool, a draft tool, and then they can exchange and critique each other. Or they could look at someone else's argument and critique it, because a good argument is not just making your own case, it's poking holes in opposition positions, right? Um, and then you give kids opportunities to build and support arguments. And one of the ways we engage students when appropriate is to give them some choice, right? So maybe you give them, here are 5 issues. You pick one that's most interesting for you to research, analyze, and come up with your own position and try to support it. Or maybe you let the kid put forth an idea. And so bringing in student choice often engages students because choice matters. They can pick something that's of interest to them or relevant in their world. So that's just an illustration of an example of a thinking skill process that's tied to important outcomes in the standards and a tool that helps teachers and students learn those things. Last quick example. For younger children, we have an alternative. It's an argument stool. It's a stool with a base with 3 legs, no feet. So when you're beginning argumentation, which you should with young kids, you say, if you want someone to believe you or you want to convince somebody to do something, you need to clearly state what you want or what you want them to do or believe, and then you need to support it with reason. So let's build our argumentation stool. So that's an example.
That's why knowledge matters. Make your life a masterpiece. Visit now programs.d-ykm.com.